Thank you very much, Kachi, for the introduction. And good evening, everyone. I'm super excited to be here today. Thank you so much for the emojis. Like, this is great. And I'm excited about this evening event because this is going to be our first DDS for the year 2024. And I'm happy that, I'll be here talking about the key to confidence, because this is a very, very important topic that I think we should be having at this point. My name is Fiwa, and I'm the CEO of Perxels Design School, one of the leading institutions that train people on UI UX design. We have trained thousands of people. Our students have gotten jobs in Nigeria and even outside Nigeria. And today we are going to be talking about a topic that concerns every one of us. And that topic is the key to confidence for designer. I remember when I started my journey as a designer, I was very, very timid. Like, if some of my employers then, if they see me now, they'll be like, are you sure this is the Fiwa of that time? And I'm like, yes, this is that Fiwa, but now in a new form, in a branded form and all of that. So when it comes to confidence, I feel most people have experienced, challenges with self-esteem, challenges with self-doubt and all of that. So that's why I feel that let's have this conversation today, right? And I want it to be a very, very practical class. So from the audience, I want to ask us a very simple question. Do you think there's a difference between self-confidence and self-esteem? Let me have Theodora. Theodora has raised her hand, so let's have Theodora.
Okay.
All right, so self-confidence is about believing in yourself, while self-esteem is about placing value on yourself, appreciating yourself.
Great. Thank you. So, manager, do you want to say something?
Yes, almost in that light. Self-confidence is in you just knowing that this thing, I can do it. Then self-esteem refers to this level of value or worth, that you know that you're worth more than either what they think or they feel you are in quote. That's what I believe.
Great, thank you so much. Before I go into whether it's different or it's the same, right, I quickly want to share my own story. When I graduated from university, I was looking for opportunity to intern with a UI UX design organization, but I couldn't find, or they were not even responding to my email when I applied to Lagos organization. So I decided that I'm going to change my strategy. I'm going to go to places where they are not asking, where there's no much competition. So I chose Benin. So when I got to Benin, right, I realized that the organization that I applied for that accepted me, they were actually not UI UX designer. They are actually not UI UX designer, right? What they do there is graphic design. And I told the CEO that I want a company that actually do UI UX design. And they were like, oh, see, I've checked your profile. Your profile is very good. You're a Figma Africa ambassador. The little knowledge that you know is enough. So we'll just bring your own knowledge and our own understanding of graphic design. We'll bring it together, and then we are going to have it's going to be an amazing team and all of that. I find it fishy, but I was like, okay, it's better than not doing anything. So I started a journey with them. And after 3 months, I had to come back to Lagos, right, for holiday. That was in December time. And I met a senior friend. And this senior friend, I talked to him about my journey so far from school to Benin. And he was like, Fiwa, with the skill that you have right now, a Lagos organization can actually employ you full time, not even as intern. I'm like, really? So he started teaching me how to apply. Then we applied to an organization. And luckily for me, I was able to get a graduate training opportunity at CC Hub. And CC Hub is one of the big organizations here in Lagos. I was so excited. But when I got to CC Hub, I met fellow graduate training, right? But I realized that everybody on the team, right, that are junior designers or junior staff, they were actually having conversation with senior staff. Because in that organization, there is nothing like you are the senior, you are the junior. Every meeting you are going to, they take the junior guys along. They allow us to express ourselves. They allow us to talk, right? So I realized that my colleague, with the same level of understanding, with the same level of knowledge, we just graduated university. I noticed that they were actually having solid conversation, right? And I'm like, how did you know what to say? How did you know what to share? Because me, I just get blank anytime I'm in a meeting. I just feel that I don't have anything to say. I just feel like I don't have anything to offer. I just feel that what I'm about to say now, I don't think it's going to help the situation on ground. But I noticed that my friends, they were communicating. And I decided to ask myself that, what can I do better? And what inspired me about these guys is the fact that the more they talk, the better they are. Compared to me, where I would just sit down and I would just be looking and say, what should I say? Before somebody talk, I would have said, let me change it. I don't think somebody would say it. You understand? I was not really confident in expressing what I know about my job, right? But I noticed that my friends were improving, and picking all of that up, right, kind of also helped me to start saying, okay, let me say something, let me share something. And from that, picking that up, intentionally trying to talk, intentionally explaining myself and my decision actually improved me. And that is what has made Fiwa of today. Imagine I have not started picking up, trying to talk, trying to express myself. I'm so sure we might not even have Perxels of today. So I decided to start with that conversation because a lot of people that you're seeing out there that you admire have actually experienced low self-esteem, have actually experienced low confidence in their ability at some point in time. So it is not something that we were born with. It's not something that you just say that, you are lucky, God gave you confidence. No, it's something that each and every one of us here will build. So what is the difference between self-esteem and self-confidence? Because it's very essential for today's conversation. So the first thing you want to know is that self-esteem is actually how you feel about your self-worth. It involves an overall evaluation of your value based on what? On your past experience and current belief. Imagine you make bid, and after making that bid, your cost price is about 5,000 naira, right? Then you go to the market and then you mention that, so if you want to get this particular bid, I'm going to sell it for 5,200 naira. And then another person actually created that same bid, go through the same stress that you actually went through. And then the person went to the market and then sold that particular bid for 20,000 naira. For you, you actually valued your effort for just 200 naira. For the other person, the person actually valued themselves for what? 15,000 naira. And the person made sale. You also made your own sale, but you can see the value based. So self-esteem is how you have actually valued yourself. How have you valued yourself? Did you value yourself high, or did you just value yourself very low? Are you someone that whenever anything is being discussed, you're like, I don't want it. I had that issue at the beginning of my career. The first day I reached CC Hub, right? And I'm like, and they're giving me the offer letter. I'm like, are you sure I'm supposed to be here? Because it's not people like me that they are looking for here. They're looking for people that have gone to big school, people that have their masters already. How come somebody that just finished Lautech? How come I'm coming to this way? How come they gave me that opportunity, right? And that was the first thing that affected who I am. And I'm so sure at that point, if they've asked me that how much do I want to collect, I would have valued myself so low. So self-esteem is how you are valuing yourself. How do you value yourself? Do you think you want it, or do you think you don't want it? Do you think, I'm just lucky, I'm just lucky? Or do you think you actually want that particular opportunity and that particular privilege? So that is self-esteem. Now, self-confidence. Self-confidence refers to your belief in your ability to do something. For example, you can have high self-esteem, self-confidence, in your public speaking skills, but low self-confidence in your mathematics skill. What this is trying to tell us is that when it comes to confidence, it is ability-based. Can you do this? Yes, I can do this. So I can be very good, when it comes to talking. Maybe they are doing something like, Fiwa, she can talk about it, and I just rose and then I start to talk and all of that. But maybe when they give me mathematics, before I even see the question, I started crying because I'm like, I don't know mathematics. When it comes to self-esteem, it's more about your value, right? What value have you placed on yourself? Why, when it comes to confidence, it is ability-based. That is what you can do. And because we are creative, every single time we are faced with the challenge of doing, Every single time you are giving project, for you to collect money, for you to receive money, you must have what? Done something. So that is why we're actually focusing on the ability part, which is what? Self-confidence. So self-confidence refers to your belief in your ability to do something. Do you think you can design? Do you think you can actually design and that design is going to solve problem? Do you think you can design and the users are going to find it useful, or your client is going to find it useful, or they're going to use what you have built, they can actually use it to make money? So when it comes to self-confidence, it is what? Your ability, your belief in your ability to do something. I can do this thing. I can do this thing. That is self-confidence. But when it comes to esteem, esteem is more like what is the value you've placed to yourself. So please, in the chat section, let me know if you understand what I have said so far. All right, great. Now let's move on to the next one. Have you ever wondered why your team members always seems to have something to contribute in design meetings, engage in lively chats, or effortlessly find humor in various situations? At that point when I was at CCO, I always wonder how my friends, how they are able to, have conversation with foreigners. Because just like I said, CC Hub is not an organization where they'll say, oh, this one's their senior guys, or this one. Anywhere the senior guys are going, the junior guys will follow them. So such that if you are not in the organization, you will not even know who is the lead or who is not the lead. And there's a particular guy that is also a graduate trainee. His name is Famous. This guy was speaking to foreigners in the office. I'm like, hey, how come you know what to say? Famous is not somebody that maybe knows everything about maybe the subject matter, but it's somebody that just believes that when it comes to this conversation, I know what to say. I have something to say about it, right? And if I don't have something to say, somebody else is here to contribute. But whatever thing I know, I have confidence that it makes sense. I have confidence that it will pass value. I have confidence that it's going to make sense. Do you understand? So it's not because he's all in all. It's not because he has maybe learned so much about that subject, but the little he knows, he believes that it can contribute to the success of the product. Do you understand that? So that is self-confidence playing his own part in that guy's life. Now, let's now talk about design confidence, right? This is a design school, right? Whether you're a graphic designer or you're a UI/UX designer or you're an interior designer, all this actually matters to everybody. So let's talk about design confidence. Sometimes when I give my students projects, I observe how everybody have answered that project, right? You can tell from the way everybody's project is, you can tell who has actually worked really well on a particular project, and you can tell the people that have not really worked so much on that particular product. Now, I want to throw it to the house, whether you're a graphic designer or you're a UI/UX designer. I want to ask you, on what do you base your design decisions? When somebody gives you a project now, right? On what do you base that design decision? How do you go about solving a problem? So I just want, maybe like 3 people to share with us. Okay, let's have Convenant. Hello, Convenant.
Hello. When somebody give me a design project, first of all, I base on what they are trying to reach. I research on the brand itself, see their competitors, and just follow like the basic process to get the
Okay. Thank you for sharing. Let's have George.
Okay, so thank you for the opportunity. So what I'll do basically is if I get a brief, I basically first of all like to understand what the project really entails. If there is a priority for it, understand it. That will help me to be able to figure out who are the target audience, what goals, what functionalities does the client wants to get to see. Then obviously I'll move into making user research. That's what the US coming to understand by whether surveys or interviews or whatever, and understand the pain points, obviously, to get the pain points from and then after that I also do computer analysis, basically to be able to who are the competitors and all that. So what can we do differently to be able to solve that problem better than those who are currently doing that? And that would obviously now guide me on what kind of functionalities to be able to, at the end of the day, it's not just about design, it's about solving a problem. Thank you.
Good. Thank you so much, George, for that. Let's have Theodora.
All right, like they've already said, Covenant talked about research, which is very important. That's the first thing I do. And then I ask a lot of questions. The questions are never enough. I don't assume anything for any
Good.
client or anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I ask a lot of questions, even to the point of how the foundation or the business was created. So why did you choose this name? All of that can help me create, especially if you are trying to land the brand, like with logos and stuff. So you know what exactly you're doing, and so you don't have the case of always going back to correct this and correct that. If you have enough information, you can just go ahead and create, and the client just goes wow, and that's what you're aiming for.
Good. Thank you so much for sharing, everyone. Now, product design, which is UI UX design, whether you're creative, any creative, right, at its core, is a series of design decisions. If your design decision boils down to your own opinion, you can't be confident. So a lot of guys, when they want to build a product, they just focus on what they know or what they want the product to look like. But that alone is not enough to validate your point. It can work in your local environment, but trust me, if you push that kind of solution to another environment, you'll be amazed that this is not making sense. This is not going to fly at all, right? So when it comes to beauty, I was working with one of my students yesterday. So a particular lady stayed behind. And when she stayed behind, I kind of like, she stayed like 2 hours after our own class. So I was just passing through. I was like, okay, let me see what you are doing so far, right? On a nose, maybe I'm supposed to wait till Wednesday or Thursday to see our work. But I just wanted to see if it's something that, for somebody to stay 2 hours after class, it shows that the person really wants to do better. And then I checked our work and I saw a solution. And right from there, I can tell that this solution is not going to fly you. And then I asked her, I said, why did you make this decision? Or how did you go about coming up with this decision? And then she was like, I just did what I feel like. And I'm like, what you feel like is not enough to make solid decision for your design. And that's why when somebody like that bring maybe their product to class and then they receive feedback after spending like 4 hours on the assignment, and then the person receive maybe a feedback that is like negative, the person will be like, with all my effort, I don't think I will even be doing this again. This is too much for me. But I kind of told her that, see, before you come up with this decision, you should have seen about 5 other products that looks like that product, so that you will see what the existing market, what they are already used to, what they are already doing. You don't just go straight and say, what is in my mind? That is what what is in your mind is good, but it is not enough to actually make a good design decision. Go out there, ask people questions. If you cannot go out, schedule meetings with people, go and do your research, see products, study products to see what they've done. Because if you have that and then you come for it to a meeting, the moment I understand that part of design, that whenever I want to work on any design, right, the first thing I want to do is to actually study the market, study the user, ask questions as much as I can do, analyze information or data to understand the user. I begin to have better, like more confidence to actually talk about my product, because I know that I'm not just bringing this out of my own self-knowledge alone, but I have confirmed that this is working and this has also worked, or this has failed in some particular product. So that is why I have it here that, see, when it comes to product design, you don't just want to boil down your design decision to your own opinion alone. You actually want to what? You want to research. Research builds confidence. It helps you to have the data of the subject, of the users that you are working with, such that it is not just your own head knowledge alone. Just imagine I'm coming to this class today and then I've not done any research, I've not worked on understand, I've not even assessed my own self when it comes to confidence. I just come and say, let me just come and talk. I will just end up saying plenty things that might not necessarily make sense. And when I receive feedback from that, I can feel that, so I'm not even good at this. I thought I'm good at this. But when you actually research, right, it's going to enhance your design decision. And when your design decision is good enough, you see that your self-confidence about designing is going to improve. Another thing I wrote here is experimenting builds your confidence. What this actually means is that after building my product, I don't just want to agree by myself in isolation that my product is all and all, it is the best. I actually want to give it to people to assess. I want them to talk about it. There's something called validation when it comes to wireframing. That validation process means that you are giving your product or your sketch or your wireframes, you are giving it to stakeholders, finance team, content team, product manager, developer. They are looking at your product and then they are giving their feedback. The product manager is going to be like, okay, this product is actually good when it comes to the interface. But when it comes to our business, it's not aligning effectively. Can we improve it in this way? The finance team can look at the project. Oh, great job. I like this. This fall into our budget. Or, guy, this your innovation, my dear. It's too expensive. We cannot deal with it right now. So pushing out your product for other people to actually talk about it, kind of help you to see what you are doing right, discover your strength, and even become better. The next thing you want to do is to share it with your user, do some unit testing. When somebody uses your product and then they feel that, okay, this part is good, this part is not good, you know what you are doing right, you know what you are doing wrong. And at the end of the day, this little process kind of improve your self-confidence in the job that you are doing. After I left CCUp, guys, the next interview that I went for, I did so well there. Why? In fact, while I was at CCUp, I did not know that I was actually learning so much. When I left there and then I started doing interview, my first interview was actually the next job I took. And it was amazing because I was confident about my ability. I've done the job. I've done research before. Everything on my portfolio, I understand it. I was the one that did it. I've experimented it. People have used my prototype before. So when it comes to talking about that particular ability, I spoke well. I did well. Do you understand that? So experimenting your design, pushing it to people, letting them give you evaluation, improving on it will definitely build your design decision and also your self-confidence. Now, I have a particular story I wanted to share, which is a case study here. And this case study, I want you guys to give me feedback on these two personalities that we want to talk about. Now, the first person is, let's call this person Alice. And then the second person, let's call this person Bob. So let's use a man and a woman, right? So Alice is the man. Alice is the woman, and then Bob is the man. Now, two designers, Alice and Bob, both of them apply for a contract job to redesign a particular company's website. Now, Alice is very, very charismatic. She's very bold. She's very confident, but she doesn't have enough experience. But when it comes to Bob, Bob is very good. He's technically sound, he's competent, and he doesn't, but he doesn't have enough confidence compared to what Alice. Now, when the two of them approached the interview, Alice actually approached the meeting with a lot of confidence and enthusiasm. She listened carefully to the client's need and asked insightful questions. She confidently presents her idea for the website redesign. Despite her less experience, Alice's confidence actually shines through, and she exuded assurance that, see, this thing, I can deliver results. Just give it to me, I can deliver results. I don't want us to confuse confidence with somebody that is just blabbing, like somebody that just know how to talk, but what they are saying is not making sense, right? I don't want us to confuse that together, which I will explain later on. But just like I said about Alice approached the interview with all confidence. She listened to the interviewer. She was able to express that, see, these are the steps I'm going to take to actually get this particular job done. But listen to Bob. For Bob is very good technically. He's highly competent, right? And he's very skilled when it comes to design. However, he tends to downplay his achievement and lacks the same sense of value or sense of confidence compared to that of Alice. During the client meeting, Bob actually focuses more on technical details and doesn't communicate his idea, right, assertively as much as what Alice. Now, the outcome. The client is very impressed with Alice's confidence and enthusiasm during the meeting. They appreciate her clear communication, right, her style, right, and our ability to convey the information very well, right? But Bob, he was technically sound. They can tell that this person is actually technically sound, right? But his lack of confidence make the client to be uncertain if he can actually do the job that they want him to do. That is the client report. I'm going to tell you the person that they later gave the job. But if these two guys come to you, right, who are you going to choose and why? For Alice, Alice is outspoken. While they are doing the interview, she listened very carefully. She write down things and then she explained, this is how I'm going to solve this problem to you, right? And she said it with all sense of assurance. But when it comes to Bob, Bob was more concerned about, okay, we are going to use Miro. We are going to use Fig Jam. I'm going to put it on Notion. I'm going to put it on it. It was more, it was talking so much about, his technical ability, right? So if we bring these two guys to you, right, and it was not really, hammering on the point that, okay, this job is going to be get done this way, but it was talking more about, the technicality of that particular product. If we bring these two people to you, who are you going to actually pay attention to and why? So we want to go first. Can we have a piece?
I think I'll choose Bob because
You tell me.
after all the interview I've done with them, I'll still need to check on their portfolio to actually see what they've done before.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hello, hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good evening. So, after having an interview with the both, so definitely, first of all, I will go through their portfolio.
Good.
I want to see what kind of project they've probably handled for. Then also check their level of experience, because you can't just convince me just like that, and probably they're just blabbing, or maybe because of you're assuming you can do this, and probably you can't actually do it. So first of all, I just want to check through the year of process, like how far you've been in this particular industry. Projects you've done so far. I need to be impressed with the finished job so that I can have the confidence to give you this my own job. So, okay, you can do this. So good. I've seen you. I've seen your job. I've seen what you've done. You can't just come and convince me with just your mouth and say you can do this, or maybe show me your confidence, show me or talk to me, trying to convince me on this particular project. And at the end of the day, I didn't get the excellence of what I need. So
that you want.
I'll stick to Bob.
Okay, thank you for sharing. So let's have Adekemi.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to choose Alice because of the way she expresses herself. Because the client, they don't really need all the technical jargon like that. They will not be able to understand and process it. So I'll prefer Alice because of the way she breaks down the whole thing and she's confident about it.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Can we have Fudirat?
Hi, good evening, everyone. So for me, I'll go with Alice because first and foremost, she communicated very well with the client. She expressed the solution she would give and all of that. And one thing with interview is your performance will give you like your 15 first. Afterwards, performance, like in the process of doing the job, now determine how good you are. And I think Alice has been able to put that in the front to convince them that okay, I can actually do this with our confidence and communication.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. So it seems that the men are going for Bob and then the women are going for Alice. So let's hear from, it's a serious one. Let's have Shedrack. Shedrack, who are you supporting? Team Alice or Team Bob?
Well, I think I would go for Alice in the first place because with the way she had communicated the whole idea and breakdown, and even if she doesn't have that experience, it shows that she's teachable, and it all depends, number one, with the brand we are working with also. Because if it's a startup, they may not really understand what Miro and Notion and all of the technicalities Bob might have possessed is. And then, but I'm convinced with the few points of Alice that she can deliver. So I think I'm going to want to go with Alice.
Oh, thank you for sharing. Abisola, can we have you?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
I'll go with Bob.
Okay, why Bob?
Because he Joe is not confident enough to talk about what he wants to deliver, but looking at what he has to offer, that's his portfolio, you can know that he's going to get the job done. But probably he's just unable to express himself very well. But you know he's going to get the job done. But as for Alice, maybe another job will work for her, but not the job at hand, so to say.
Thank you so much for that contribution. It's insightful. Now, in today's world, right, being outspoken is very, very important. And I understand it that the job must be done. And the truth of the matter is that there's some certain job that we need the technicality, not your English, or not I can do. But a lot of time, research have shown that if you are able to express that you can do something, you will likely get that thing done, right? For people that are, maybe sensible, you get that. Not all cases. Now, I want to share my screen to show you some of the interviews that I have received. And I want to show you an example of Bob and an example of Alice. This person have it here. The hiring manager, I'm writing to express my ideas, 2 years experience, having worked with so and co company during my internship in Carrywise and AC Health. I had the opportunity to do this. Throughout this, I was able to, work as a program lead at Lagos students career. This is my portfolio. This is my CV. This is my phone number, and that's all. Then I have another person, right? This person just shared this particular stuff here without any cover letter. The same community, the same message, the same flyer that I sent, but this person just shared this. Then I come over to this place here. This person said, I'm writing to you. I've been a product designer before. As a community manager, I also have 2 years of experience. I have added this. I am excited about this. Thank you so much for this. Then the person give me their portfolio and their phone number. So you can see an example of Alice, and then you can see, because this person is totally, this one is not any, like, it will not be considered. You understand? But these two guys, they're the one that have the competition. Now, when I brought these two guys on board, I realized that the lady that actually showed that she has worked with Carrywise as an intern, right? She has done this, that she gave me example, just like, let me show my screen again. She was, the moment I look at this design, as a recruiter, my eyes is just glancing through. I've seen Carrywise, it has validated that person. I've seen AC Health, it has validated that person. I can see where the person have worked. I clicked on it immediately. When I looked at the page, the design already captivates me sharp. I'm like, this is it. You understand? Then I come over to this person here. I clicked on his design. I click on his, I don't want to share too much of, that stuff there, so that, but the other lady was one that would fit. So that's why I'm able to share that very well. Now, when I start to talk to these guys, I realized that the Bob, that guy, it was actually very gentle with his approach, right? And while I was talking to him, I'm already getting bored listening to him. But you see, the lady that has worked at Carrywise, our conversation, it's as if she has practiced what she's about to come and sell, right? She was very, very confident with her skill. She was very articulate with the thing that she's expressing, and it just made me to connect with her. And at the end of the day, we have employed this particular lady, right? And she's actually doing well. When it comes to today's world, it's essential for us to know that just having technicality is not enough. There are so many people that are out there that are technically skilled. And the truth is that the two of them are actually skilled. The two of them are skilled. It's not as if the girl that can actually communicate about herself, it's not as if she's just there, she does not know what she's saying. She can actually express herself and she can do the job, right? She might not be so good like that of Alice, but there are some times on the team that we don't just want you to know how to do the job, because I've employed some people like that they can do the job, but when it comes to expressing what they've done, I cannot even understand. So that I cannot contribute because you were just giving me the technicality. I don't understand. The person cannot engage in conversation with team members and everybody will understand, because the person is always timid, or the person is always into themselves. The person is always, trying to assess, am I saying the right thing, and all of those things. So it doesn't drive engagement and collaboration. But when you are confident, right, we believe that you can grow in that skill. We believe that you can become better in that particular skill. And it is not just about, I can do the job. So many of us, we have focused so much on our technical skills. I'm not going to employ somebody that is not technically good. My students know you must be good. Do you understand? But at the same time, you cannot know everything in this world. But your ability to express and convince me that, see, if this thing is given to me, I can actually get it done, is very, very important, as much as your technical skill. Build your technical skills, build the way you communicate. Believe that you can do that and express it to us so that we know that, yes, you can do this. When I had my interview after the CCO entire thing, guys, you need to see the way I was talking with my hiring manager. I spoke with all confidence and I said, see, I can do this job. There's a lady that we also employed as a content writer. That was the one I even want to show us as Alice, but I cannot trace our email right now. On our subject, you need to write what you need to see what she wrote there. She wrote, I am Perxels content manager. That's what she wrote there. I am your content manager, or I am Perxels content manager. That's what she wrote there. The more like our subject just screamed to me as a hiring manager. And then when I brought her on the team, I listened to her to see what does she have to offer. So sometimes it's not always just your technical skill. You must be technically sound, but at the same time, you must learn to communicate. A lot of creative guys can only design, can only work on that. But sometimes it's not just your design we want to see. I want to understand why you made that decision. I want you to see that, see, our users, they are not designers. Our users, they need a design that is very, very simple compared to, all these big things that you're saying around there. And remember, guys, the people that you are working with, they're not designers. They don't understand alignment. They don't understand hierarchy. They don't understand white space. And that's why you see that sometimes your manager will say, and everything in this design can you put a lot of pictures? Can you make it pop? But if you don't even have confidence, if you don't have that expression, right? If you cannot communicate about, oh, see, the reason we are making this decision is not because we don't have a lot of resources. It's not because my laptop is hanging, or it's not because I cannot download, but it's just because for users, simplicity is important. And you're able to express that your ability to create that thing and how it fits into the user. But if you are just telling the person, that's what can work, or that's what can work, the person will not understand that. So if I want to bring anybody on the table, I'm actually going to bring Alice, right? I get it that there's some part of our work, for example, now, the truth of the matter is that my developer, front-end person is not somebody that talk like that. And, when it comes to confidence, it's not just talk. It's just your ability to express and for us to understand. My developer is not somebody that can over-talk on the team, and I still have him on board. And right now, he has even improved. He has improved a lot in his ability to, believe in his ability and communicate his ability with us effectively. So it's important for us to develop both skills. So let's get into the next one. What are the negative impacts of low confidence? Number one, right, it's going to affect your creativity and innovation, your ability to bring good results, right, to the table. Some of us, the reason our design is not coming out is not because you cannot build something that is good, but it's just because you don't believe enough in your ability to even sit longer to come up with something that is going to be tangible. So low confidence can actually affect the way you think, because you are often, bringing yourself down. You are often trying to say, I don't think I can do more than this. This is all I can do, right? You're just always limiting yourself, and that's going to affect your creativity. Next thing is inconsistency. Designers with low confidence tend to second guess their decision. I did that a lot. In fact, I told my friend, right, my colleague in the office, to present what I have designed, just because I don't have enough confidence. I said, come and help me, just say you are the one that did it, right? Because I was doubtful about my work. I felt that they cannot accept this. I'm working with people in Kigali, people outside Nigeria, right? I felt that they are more intelligent than me. I don't think my ability or my idea can work. And guys, most of the time, that idea works. Most of the time, my ideas work. But I have given it to another person to go and talk about it, and that person just collect the praise. Do you get that? And some of us might be doing like that now. Another thing is that limited ability to take risk. Low confidence either the ability to your designer's ability to take risk. thus limiting the potential for breakthrough design and improvement. So when it comes to, low confidence, you just want to maintain as your low champion. You're not taking risks, you're not taking new challenge, you're not building yourself up. I've worked with several people that after two weeks, after 1 week, they're like, I don't think I can work with international brand. How will you make money? Because the standard is not the same as some of Nigerian firms. Do you understand that? But if you are quick to say, I don't want anybody to, if they will just give me evaluation, I don't think I can work with standard organization. You just want to be working with team that don't have design system, team that they just design anyhow. Do you understand? Because when you're working with international brand, they actually want things to be documented. They want to be sure that everything you are bringing on the table has been validated. You're not just going to go and copy somebody's design and just put it together. But some people don't have the confidence to say that they are creative enough to birth good designs or bring designs that are not copied designs. Do you get that? So it can also limit your ability to take risk. So it's very important for us to take that out. Now, what is the key to confidence? What is the key to confidence as designer? Number one is for you to believe in yourself. I know this might sound cliche, and we have even been saying it, right? Talk about yourself. Believe that you can do something. Put yourself into the shoe of a client. Imagine a client invites you to have a conversation about a business, and then when you are talking, you're already watering down your ability. Do you think the person will listen to you? That person that can talk about their skill, that can really communicate about themselves, that believe that they can do it, will gain more interest than somebody that is timid, right? Somebody that is already speaking low. I was telling my students in the alumni retreat that if I have a plan to pay somebody 150,000 naira for a role, and then the person come to me, and then the person is telling me that they want to collect 50,000 naira, guys, I'm not going to employ that person based on my experience. I'm not going to employ that person. I will not see, because the person said 50,000, I'm not seeing it as opportunity. Because in the past, when I have done that, I noticed that person's self-worth even affects the results they are bringing on the table. When we say, oh, let us go and reach out to this kind of organization, the person will say, they are too big, they're too big. I don't think because you can see the person did not even have enough value for themselves. So that character, that mindset, the person will still bring it into their job. Do you get that? The person will start bringing our value down. So it is not an opportunity for me to say, oh, I want to pick you because you said 50,000 naira, because I know that you're going to bring that into the business as well, and it's going to slow business. Do you understand that? So now let's move on to the next thing. Believe in yourself, believe in your ability. Work with people that talk about your strengths as well. That's one of the things that has really helped me, right? My mentor, oh God, he will tell me, you can do this. In the next 6 months, I want you to come up with this result, and I know that you can do it. This is what you should do. This is what you should do. This is what you do. I trust that you're going to do it. Believe in yourself. Next thing is recognize your strength and weakness. Every one of us here, we have strength and weakness. Forget the fact that I'm here communicating with you and everything. I have the things that I'm struggling with when it comes to confidence. I said that confidence is in ability. So there's some things that I'm not very good at, right? That I'm still working towards, that I'm still improving, that I know that I need to work on. But one thing is that if you focus so much on your strength and you build your strength better, it overshadows some of your weakness. I'm not saying that you should ignore your weakness. I'm not saying you should sweep it under the carpet. But when you embrace a lot of your strength, even your weakness, people will not quickly notice it. But that does not mean that you are ignoring it or you're not becoming better at that. So recognize your strength, recognize your weakness. Anything that is your strength, let us see you. Let us see you perform there. I have some of my students that in terms of, coordinating people, right, ensuring that their classmates is fine, they have that strength. If I'm looking for any opportunity that has to do with maybe managerial role for any organization, I'm able to say that this person is a UI UX designer, but this person have understanding about this, and the person can be recommended. Do you understand that? So it's very, very essential for us to recognize our strength, right, and our weakness. Place so much in your strength, right, such that people can tell that you are good at this. Next thing is continuously improve your knowledge and skills. Don't get tired learning. Don't get tired acquiring skills. Don't get tired practicing. Practice, right? One of the things that helped me is that if I know that thing, I have the confidence to go and say it. But imagine I have not practiced so much. Imagine I have not learned so much about that subject. I will definitely be, I'll have less confidence. I'll look confident to come and talk about that subject or to come and show my skill in that regard. But if I have learned so much about that thing, right, or I have good understanding of that subject and I have practiced enough, it will definitely improve my confidence. So guys, the more you know, the better you are, the more confidence you will be. Let's say it again. The more you know, the better you are, the more confident you will be. Thank you so much for having me today. That's the end of my conversation. If you have questions, I'll be glad to accept your question.
Thank you very much, Ma, for that was a very powerful, seminar. I really learned a lot. But please permit me, I have two questions. Now,
okay.
Earlier on, you mentioned that while you worked at CC Hub, there was this walls or segmentation was not there. That was what really helped you, Now, my first question is this. What if we work in offices or in places where there is this hierarchy, there's this level of segmentation, the big boys, middle class, low class? I know many times that it sort of truncates your confidence. So how do you strive? The second one, you said experimenting builds confidence. So I want to ask, at what level you keep experimenting, you keep feeling? Let's say you keep correcting and you keep feeling. So at what point do you say this is not getting out of hand, and then dial it down a notch? Or do you keep forging, do you keep experimenting till you break through and then you get it right? What do you think, Ma?
Thank you. So I have the opportunity to actually see senior people works, right? While I started design, I didn't have, people that can sit down with me and teach me the way I teach at Perxels for a long period of time. But I had the opportunity to just, once in a while, maybe in a month, I will have one senior designer that I can talk to. The person will see their work. I'll go on Twitter. I'll see so many design, like in me, that I'm still struggling with shadow. Somebody have designed all this mock-up and all of these things. So I see a lot of people designs, right? And it's actually affect me while I was a junior designer, that when am I going to, seriously guys, I always tell myself then that when am I even going to be a designer like this? Like, when am I going to be so good to this point that my design is going to be like this? I usually have that like in mind then, that I don't think I can scale as a designer the way my design is right now. But the truth is that I actually started to, I started to not give up, right? I was complaining, but I was not giving up. I was kind of concerned, but I was not giving up. But I realized that the more I do, the more I know. The more I share, the more I receive feedback. And then I started to improve in my design. And then somebody likes my design and wants me to work with them. So now, it's not until you have a perfect design that you are going to be employed. There are several organizations that are out there that need somebody like you, that need your design, right? So you're going to definitely start from somewhere. So instead of me to keep, instead of me allowing other people's success to overwhelm me, or instead of me looking at senior designer because they're always scaling, they're always talking, they know what to say, instead of me continuously just letting that affect me, I just continue with what I know, and then I improve. Right now, my journey can be slow because I'm actually a very slow learner, right? People see maybe I'm a very, very fast learner. When I was learning, you know me, right? So, but as time goes on, and I became better, and that's why when I was learning, right? I always tell people, I was learning, I was not learning because I want to get a job and just be 9-to-5 worker. I was learning because I want to teach other people how I actually scale through my own issues. Like what I was learning, anything I learn like this, I'll say, so if I see somebody have this issue, this is what I will tell the person that I've done. So instead of me focusing on other people's success or how good and excellent some other people are, I appreciate it. It affects me sometimes, but at the same time, I keep building up my own skill until I get to a point where, my own work too, is attractive to other people to pay me. So that's number one. Then the number two question, you were like, when you experiment, you fail. You experiment again, you fail. I want you to know that success does not come easily. It doesn't just come like fast as the word painted, right? So instead of you trying to say that you are experimenting, you are failing, why not look at what have you done better in your second experiment? So instead of you focusing on the number of time you are experimenting, focus on what did I learn from the first experiment that has improved my second experiment, that have improved, has improved my fourth experiment. See, every one of us, whether you're a designer or you're not a designer, we will definitely face challenges in our life that is not the first try that we get it. But you shouldn't just give up in your first experiment, because if you stop at that point, who is going to help you? Nothing is going to change.
Okay, we have a first question from Chidebere Okoro. He said, as a learner in graphics design, is learning from other people's work the best option, or should he do it from the top of his own head, which is better?
Okay, so just like I said, right, you cannot work in isolation as a designer. You cannot work in isolation. One thing that I've discovered is that other people have some things that you don't know, or that you don't even, you were not even thinking about it that way. So personally to me, I embrace collaboration. But while I am embracing collaboration, so if you're somebody that you feel that anytime I see other people's work or I hear from other people's opinion, I feel discouraged and overwhelmed. Okay, I've also been in that shit before. What I did then was that, okay, I'll first of all write out what I think about the subject. I'll write it down. And I will give myself the reason why I feel this is good. I'll put it down. Then I will go to other guys, maybe look at their work, see what they've done, have conversation with them, and then compare it with my opinion. If you are true to yourself, you will see the strength of others, because you're not the only one that know everything in this world. Do you understand that? Before I come today to come and give you a presentation, I presented to my husband. Do you understand? When I presented to him, he has given me the one that I did not say very well, despite I'm a teacher. He has said, but Mama, this thing is not necessary. Just remove this one, change this like this, sharp. You understand? So don't be rigid with your mind. Talking to other people does not mean that they are going to impose their decision on you. It's just for you to validate your own response. So do it, write what you think, and then check with other guys and see what they've done. Understand their design process. Me, I learn from other people, and I don't think it should be something that will bother my mind. Learn from them. Don't think they are competing with you, and don't think you are competing with them. You are learning from them. Every single design that I do, I don't just go and just design. Boom. I observe, I see what is trending, I see if it is good or not, right? I see the one that I can put into my design, I see the one that aligns to what I'm doing. I don't just copy, bam. Do you understand? But I learn from what they've done. I do not look at it from the aspect of I'm competing with them, or they're competing with me, or they're better than me, or I'm better than them. Do you understand that? So that's my answer to that.
Okay, Samuel has a question I want to address. So he says that he is currently on probation for a company as a brand and communication designer. So he said his major setback has been his team lead. He said he will make a decision and she will edit it and keep editing it until it looks so bad. He said he has done his research on similar brands, has 2 different meetings with her, showing her similar brand doing well with their designs, and also explain how the company can do it better. But she will agree, and the next meeting, back to the again. So how does he address this issue, knowing that he is still on probation?
Thank you so much for that question. So let me give you an example of my boss, and I'm still working with him, Mr. Banjo. So let me tell you what I did. My boss does not know design, but he's always coming with design decisions. Do you understand? And anytime he say that, I'm always like, no, right? So, but before my boss that I'm working with right now, I'd worked with a particular boss for 7 months, and it was always organ-centered design. That is what my boss wants. That's what we design. What my boss wants, that's what I did not have any opinion at all after I finished CCO, but I went to that's the next of it. I did not have anything. I was just doing what my boss wants, because I don't want to lose my job. Do you understand that? But at the end of the 7 months, when we launched the product, we realized that people were not downloading our application. So we had to tell these people that, okay, we are going to give you 5,000 to download our app. When you download our application, we'll give you the 5. So people collected 5,000. You know Nigerians now, They collected the 5,000. After 2 days or 1 week, they did not use the application again. We now started calling them one by one. When we call them one by one, we now realize that the solution or the app that we have built is not as if it is bad. It's just that people have another alternative that is really working with them and they are used to. So for them to change to our own application was difficult for them. But while we are discussing with each of them, we started to see some of the problem they wish we had solved. So if we had done research before working on this product and we are not just focusing on our boss idea, we are not going to be where we were in 7 months. But at that point, I was a junior designer and I couldn't talk. So my boss, that 7-month boss, he had to shut down the organization. Later on, I don't get salary again. Then I now meet this particular boss that I'm working with that is housed in Nigeria. Now, this particular one here, what he does is that he has a lot of idea. You know, people that are filled with so much idea. It's not as if your CEO is a bad person. It's just that idea is too much of idea. Do you get that? So they will bring things that are not that is not easy to implement in a design. They will just bring it and you'll be like, this cannot work. But if you're a junior designer and you're just trying to maintain money, you might not be able to talk. And then they are taking you back to square one. They're taking you back to square one, which is very, very painful, right? And annoying. But because I have gained some level of understanding that when we have a bad design, at the end of the day, it still affects my own portfolio. Because at least I'm supposed to be having it in my portfolio that the job that I worked on, people are able to use the product for like 2 years before we shut down. It should not be that the product is not, I'm not saying that failed product cannot be on your portfolio. It can be on your portfolio, but it should not just be too much. So at that point, after I've done the failed project, I already know that the next place I'm going to, I have to know what I'm saying. I need to support them to make good decisions. Do you get that? So for this person that you're working with now, right, is an example of such person. So what you can do is that you can design what you think is good and keep that design. And then allow that person to take you back and forth. I know that this can be here. Allow the person to do back and forth. And then at the end of the day, right, when we now return to square one, you still bring back that your decision and say, from what we've done so far now, right, madam, don't you think this is a good idea? Or what do you think we can still do? We still have something that we can still go with, right? It cannot be as bad as what we think, just to show the person politely. Do you understand? Like, oh, this is, and then my own boss then, right, the Mr. Banjo, he discovered that and said that, oh, for Alpha, everything you are saying, we are always returning back to it. Oh yeah, I give it to you, be doing it. So when I got to him, I was not like enforcing my decision, but I gave him what I think would work, and I'm not always correct too. There sometimes that is always correct. So I gave him what I think will work. And at the same time, I implement what he wants, but I still keep that's what I want. And I'm always bringing it back to conversation, right? So after we talk, it's not just the boss that is going to make decision. We have other people. If the company is a good company, you should have other people that also have a say, not just your CEO. Do you understand? That can also, at the end of the day, can say that this one that this boy brought, I think we should consider it, but let us change it maybe this way, little. You understand? Just to meet the company's goal and all of that. So don't just sell out what they are saying and say they're saying nonsense. Be open to it. It's the time where everybody were on the time. Be there with them. Be open to it. Come up with their iteration. Then come up with your own iteration as well. Once you do that over and over, and they see that they're always returning back to your decision, they will start giving you the chance to talk. And that's how I grow in that Mr. Banjo's job. Right, I entered there just like maybe 1 year designer, right? And then I keep bringing suggestions. My suggestions start to work. They start to embrace it. And right now, he doesn't want me to leave the team because I'm the only black person on the team. And he felt that he needs a black person on the team that can speak his language, right? And right now, I'm not just working as a designer that creates, but I work in the decision department. Do you get that? So I think that's how to manage that particular issue. But we can bring more speakers at Perxels to have this conversation because it's a big one. But this is what I have practiced before. Thank you.
Okay, while talking about the key to confidence, the first thing you outlined there, you said believe in yourself. Now, how do you build this belief? Is it by reading books, listening to speakers, or how do you just build it? Because at that point, the belief is at -0, if not -0.00. So how do you build that belief from 0 to your? How do you do that, ma?
Thank you. So this thing is everyday thing. right? It's a everyday thing. So what I do now, right, is that I have a persona of who I want Fiwa to be. I have a persona of what I want to become, or what I wish I am. I have a persona like that, like a vision board of Fiwa. This is what I want you. This is what I want to grow into. Even my name Fiwa comes out of the understanding that I want to have a very good character, right? I want to be able to relate with people. Do you understand that? So I have a persona of who I want to be, and every single time, right, if I'm going out of the way of my persona, the persona that I've created for myself, a vision board I've created for myself, I had myself that feel, well, you can do this. You can actually do this. This is what we have mapped for ourselves, myself and yourself, right? This is what I've mapped for myself. So I can become this, I can do this. So one thing is that it's very important for you to picture what you want to become. But some of us, we assume things will work, this will come, this will come. No, that will not just happen like that. I have a persona of what I want to become, and every single time I go back there and say, Fiwa, you can achieve this. Fiwa, you can start talking on the team. Fiwa, you can start bringing insightful conversation. Most of my employers that I have worked with before building Perxels, one of them even sent me a link. They say, is this Fiwa? Like, is it the Fiwa of this person that worked there? Are you the one that owns Perxels Design School? And I said, yes. Because they cannot compare or compare the person that was so timid, that does not have valuable contribution on the team, that is always giving a design to a friend to communicate, right? They cannot connect it with that lady now that is not building a team, that is not outspoken. They could not connect it together. So what I did was to build a persona of who I want to be, and then connect myself to it. Another thing is that be in a good network of people. Don't always run from people that tell you the things that you can improve on. Definitely, sometimes feedback can be awful, right? But sometimes it helps you to discover what you can do better. I have friends, I have people that encourage me. Like, guys, I have friends that encourage me, that say, Fiwa, you're doing well. I saw your post. You did well. I like this. I did this. Do you understand that? So people that say that about you, and at the same time, they can also point to you that, madam, you're not doing this one very well. Change this part of you. You understand? It's kind of help you to build. I say, the day my one of my mentor, right? His name is Elijah Shokenu, right? Sorry, I cannot pronounce this. Sorry, very well. His name is Elijah. Elijah said, Fiwa, you like, oh my God, they will collect you in that organization. They will pay you. They will even pay you. This way, you are going to Benin Care. You are a Lagos talent. You are not a Benin talent. I'm not saying that people from Benin are not having it get. I'm not saying that, right? But the way he said that thing that day just make me feel that, wow, I can actually apply to Lagos one more time. Do you understand? Being in a community of people that talk good things to you, right? Coming for meetings like this as well can help you. There are some things that I have said today that will inspire some of us for a long period of time. Do you understand that? So be there to listen, to hear, will really, really help us to believe in ourselves. Because every one of us here, we have talent, right? Every one of us here, we are creative. Every one of us here, we can actually design and make money. This thing is not just for one person. No matter how this economy is hard, you can still find your own place. Do you understand that? So that's my answer to that, manager. I have Foodie Rat and here. Foodie Rat, can we have you?
Yes, thank you, Ma. My question is sort of similar to that of the manager, but this time around it's centered on building communication skill. For example, if somebody has like confidence already, but the person has a problem of, communicating effectively, like communicating what you have in your head and like passing it down to somebody effectively. Like, how can we work on this and like build on the communication?
Okay. Communication skill, right, comes with developing a good communication skill, comes with practicing, especially for some of us that they did not born us like that, right? Someone like me, oh, well, they did not born me like that. Some people, they born them and they were parents from childhood. Me, I was very slow, right? I was intelligent, right? Always the first class, all those type of things. Not first class in Lautech, but in secondary school, you get it. So we know book, you guys. But I was very timid. I don't really talk so much and all of that. But when I discovered that I need to start talking, right, was when I saw that some of the things that I'm supposed to be receiving as, is it gifts now? Like some of the results I'm supposed to be receiving, another person that is not as good as I am, they are receiving it. That's when I open my eyes and say, you cannot continue like this. So if not, other people will be receiving stuff, they'll be receiving opportunity, but you will not. For example, now if in an organization, if they want to maybe take some people to another branch now, they are not just going to take somebody that can do the job. They're going to take people that can relate with people that can collaborate. Do you understand? They're going to take them. But when I don't talk, how will they know whether I can collaborate? How will they know that I'm talented? Do you understand that? So what I did moving forward was that I start to practice what I want to say. Guys, it works. It can take you more time, but it works. Before I come here today, guys, I have practiced what I want to say. It's not a magic. Do you understand? I have practiced what I want to say. I have pictured myself, right? I went out today, but as I was in that meeting, I was still typing what I want to say. I was still picturing that, okay, what would be good to this? I don't just want to come and share general concept. Do you get? So practice what you want to say. In class today, I want to bring up this conversation. Then you write it down. It can be 4 lines of text. It can be 5 lines of text. When everybody is quiet or everybody is working, you can just say, I have something to say, and then you talk. Then in your first attempt, if you have 4 lines of text to talk about, trust me, that only 1 line of text you will end up remembering. But at least you have made attempt. The second time you want to try it, you still try it. Only 1 need to come. Before you enter into 2, it might take some time. But if you don't give up on that, you are going to definitely know how to do it. So to me, practicing what you want to come and say is essential. Then as time goes on, you start coming up with even concepts without practicing it. But for now, I still before coming to this class, I practice what I want to say. So practicing will help you, do you understand? At least to start the stage. Obviously, not everything I've said today now. Do you understand that I practiced? Do you get? But I've practiced some things. So when I got here, I was inspired to say more things. Do you get that? So I feel that practicing is important. Practice what you want to say. Do you get that? So Justice, let's have you.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so basically, I just wanted to have an opinion regarding like, how do you improve your creativity, your creative lifestyle? Like, how do you improve your creativity? How do you stay relevant in this industry? Do you understand? Like, how do you there's a model. What's this design thing? There's a model for this design. Of course, the way people design some years back, that's not the same way people design this. So how do you maintain that relevance? How do you improve? How do you improve your creativity? How do you stay relevant? And how, just basically, I just want to know, I also want to have an idea, a hint on how to stay relevant and all.
Thank you. So at some point in my career, I was very, very technical. That is, I was always designing. Like I'm actually part of the team that pushed the pixels, right? But it gets to a stage in my career where I am now like the lead, where I suggest the things that the design should look like, what the design, how the design should be. I'm not like telling people what to do. Do you understand that? So that kind of affected my practice. But when I noticed that, I immediately start to give myself tasks. Right, I immediately start to give myself tasks such that every Perxels design in terms of our websites and products, I create it. After creating it, I will not give it to the designers that want to design. Say, okay, if you want to edit anything, let me say that. Right. So first of all, right, practicing is very important. I don't think you should stay a day if you are still part of the team that push pixels. I don't think you should stay a day without pushing pixels. Right. And one thing about me is that I teach every day. So I cannot even forget design concepts. So that when I designed, there was a time I designed Perxels, I think alumni retreat, right? And one of my staff was like, Fiwa, but you just did this thing now, right? There's a design that they also push out this week, right? When I designed it, I just designed it, maybe it's not up to 1 hour. I just created it. I was like, you're finished it now. I said yes. And the reason is because I did not just jump into design it now. And the design is modern. The design is on point, right? It's because I'm always teaching design and I'm always working design. That is, I'm always looking at design. I'm always observing what is good, what is bad. It's not all trends that you need to follow. It's not all trends of design that is good for the user. My own is that design something that the user can build, right? And when it comes to styles are varieties. Go and study different varieties of design. As you are designing, you are picking the one that are good. You are understanding concepts. You are studying. If you are still pushing pixels and you are somebody that you are only focusing on when you get the job, that's when you go and design. It's going to affect your creativity. You create when you don't even have the job to create. When nobody asks you that creates, you are creating. You replicate. If you feel that, okay, this is now the trending design and it is something that the world is wanting, pick that design, replicate it. If you do not get it, that's why we have platforms of mentorship. And now sit in Perxels community. Hello guys, I'm unable to design this, or who will teach me? Please. Another thing, let me tell you another thing is that if you don't know how to do something, be ready to offer money. It's not every time you say, come and teach me for free. Say it there. If you can teach, I'm telling you guys, right? And I know that this thing that I will tell people I want to learn. Please, if you know how to do this thing, I'm ready to pay you. You will see that they will even give it to somebody that can. If they do not know how to do it, they'll go and share it until somebody will come and teach you. Do you understand? At the beginning of last year, I wanted to improve my communication skills, guys. I paid somebody to come and teach me how to speak. I paid. If I like, I can stay there and say tingba. Do you understand? But I paid to come and teach me how to speak. At the end of the day, my speaking still sound as if it's still the same thing. But as time goes on, those concepts start to show in the way I talk. So don't be saying you just want it to be free. If somebody cut an image in a way and you don't understand how to cut it, put it on Twitter. I would like somebody to teach me on this because I did not understand it. And if you know that you have reputation, or you're going to create another account that your face is not there, and that account is going to be an account that you use to ask questions. Even if it's because you use that account to ask the question. I tell my guys, all this time you say, I'm in a company, I don't want them to know that. Here you cannot create an account and call yourself Design Babe or Designer Gary or Designer something. Just give yourself another name and then use that account to ask your questions. So people are creating fake accounts to cause problem in the society. You create an account that you can use to ask your own question if you have reputation. Do you understand that? So that's my answer to that.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Lily, your question long ago. We are supposed to finish by 8:30 so that we have more people come to our training because we want to our sections, right, every 2 weeks. So that's all, guys. We will not be able to answer all the questions again. So I think instead of dropping their phone number on the chat, because privacy is very necessary, I think they can just send us a DM on our Instagram page, right? And guys, please follow us on Instagram. It means a lot to us, right? So you can just drop your phone number, right, on Perxels Instagram page, and the gifts will be sent to you. So this is our Instagram, Perxels, Perxels. So you can just send it as a message because of privacy, so that we don't somebody even drop his WhatsApp number. Let's see. All right, guys. So thank you. I also drop our community group, right? You can join the community. We have always having this section 2 times in a week. So you can have 2 times in a month, right? And the community, the essence of this second community that we created is because we want junior designer to communicate, right? It's specific for junior designer, not for senior designer. The one that we have for senior designer, junior designer, they don't always talk there, because those guys are always saying something so big. So we created this second community for junior designers. So please, you can join the community, right? Engage with our content, and then we'll bring more to you. Peace out. I'm leaving. Thank you so much.